A very extremely warm welcome everyone. Yesterday IMD published the news that Delhi breached 52 degrees Celsius. Although it was corrected and it was stated that it was because of some error. Nevertheless, northwest India has been reeling under extreme heat waves. Phalodi of Rajasthan almost reached 52 degrees. Let's understand what is the mechanism of heat waves. Let's understand what is the role of the subtropical jet stream, the role of the subtropical high pressure belt, the effect of the pollution dome, the effect of the meandering of the jet stream and the resultant thunderstorms. All of this can be linked to the thunderstorm that began all the way in mid of April from Dubai. It eventually moved across Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and it caused rainfall and thunderstorms over Uttarakhand and Delhi as well. We'll see how is it linked to the forest fires of Uttarakhand and also of Himachal. This is the photograph of Kasauli taken from Sukhna Lake of Chandigarh. We'll see how it is affecting the heat waves going on in India right now as well. In order to understand everything, let's go through the basics. We are all aware about the pressure belts of the earth. In winters, the sun is in the southern hemisphere, so is the equatorial low pressure belt. The equatorial low pressure belt has its core as the intertropical convergence zone. By this time, the subtropical high pressure belt and above it the subtropical jet stream positions itself roughly along these latitudes, just along the Tropic of Cancer. As soon as the sun starts entering the northern hemisphere, the ITCZ enters the northern hemisphere. Now the sun starts heating the surface. During this time, a particular phenomena takes place. We are all aware that under the subtropical high pressure belt, we are going to analyze what is taking place during approaching summers under the subtropical high pressure belt, under the subtropical jet stream. For example, this is that area. In this area, we have the sinking air of the subtropical high pressure belt. On the surface, we have the subtropical high pressure belt. We have the subtropical jet stream above over here, and all the air is sinking and diverging. When this air sinks, it is entering an area of more pressure. What do you mean by that? The closer air gets to the surface, the volume of air above it is increasing. All of that leads to concentration of air in a smaller space. The net heat distributed in a larger area is suddenly confined in a smaller place. Therefore, what happens? We observe an increase of temperature. This process is called adiabatic heating. Air upon sinking closer to the surface of the earth undergoes compression because of more pressure that leads to concentration of the heat per unit area, leading to a heating effect. All of this air upon sinking, it is heating at a rate of roughly 10 degrees Celsius per kilometer of descent. It heats up rapidly. All of this warm air does not sink to the surface. Why? Because the surface itself is undergoing something. Now, when the high pressure belt is positioned over an area, we observe a sinking air system. In a sinking air system, convection is suppressed. Since no vertical motion can take place to a sufficient extent, cloud formation is missing in this area. If cloud formation is missing, what will this area receive abundantly? Sunlight. All of that incoming solar radiation starts heating the surface of the earth. The air in contact with the surface of the earth starts heating up. Now the air in contact with the earth is warming up steadily, but it is never going to be as warm as the air lying above it. We visualize this condition somehow like this. The entire sinking air is heating adiabatically. The temperature increases at the rate of roughly 10 degrees Celsius per kilometer of descent. It creates a kind of temperature inversion condition. The surface of the earth under this high pressure belt is heating rapidly. the air in contact with it is also heating, but the temperature of this air, it is much less as compared to the temperature of the air lying above it, which is why all the pollutants etc. get trapped, and we see it as a band of pollutants. This is simply referred to as a pollution dome, an inversion lid. The point to be understood over here is that under the impact of a high pressure belt, all the heat on the surface keeps accumulating. All the heat along the surface keeps accumulating, and just as soon as the ITCZ, the equatorial low pressure belt, it keeps on shifting, we see a shift in the subtropical high pressure belt as well. The pressure belt ITCZ, it is shifting in the northern hemisphere. Approaching summers, it is heating the surface of the earth. Now something very special takes place at this moment. As soon as the subtropical high pressure belt and the subtropical jet stream above it, they start to shift, all the warm land surfaces, they start emitting intense convection. All the heat that was building up on the surface, suddenly finds an outlet. They trigger intense convection. Intense convection triggers a very strong convergent wind system. And what is a convergent wind system called? A low pressure. Wind velocity in a low pressure system below 60 kilometers per hour is called disturbance. All of these are nothing but western disturbances of summers. But this is a later stage. Right now, what is taking place? As of today, the subtropical jet stream over India, it is just in the process of shifting. The area of low pressure which has been exposed is over Saudi Arabia. Now, when this thing is taking place, only the low pressure areas of Saudi and you can say Egypt, Libya, Algeria, etc., they have been exposed. What does this initiate? It initiates the vertical meandering of the jet stream. Suppose this part over here is Saudi Arabia. This part is northwest India. Right from you can say Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Delhi, all of this region, even Rajasthan. And suppose this is, you can say Uttarakhand to the west. This is Punjab, Haryana, Delhi part. This is Uttarakhand. Since the low pressure was exposed over Saudi Arabia, that intense convection has forced the subtropical jet stream to meander vertically, perpendicular to the surface. Now, when this vertically meandering jet stream creates a crest, it induces a disturbance in the path of the jet stream. Once the path of the jet stream is disturbed, it will initiate turbulence in it. Wherever a trough will be created, it will exert high pressure in that area. In this area of the trough of the vertically meandering jet stream, what is going to happen? This was that entire area where land was still heating up. Whatever warm air tried to rise in this area was met by the sinking air above it. Below the trough, the high pressure is more intense. All of that heat is forced to sink back to the surface. When that heat is forced to sink back to the surface, adiabatic heating again increases the temperature of that air. Now, becoming even warmer, it again starts to rise. Again, it will be pushed back to the surface by the trough. It is going to keep on reheating and recirculating. In this process, the temperature of the air goes on increasing, which is why this heat dome experiences heat waves, repeated heating of that air. How are the forest fires actually aggravating it? Just adjacent to this northwest part of India, we have raging forest fires of Uttarakhand. How did those forest fires originate? We'll come to that afterwards as well. Not just Uttarakhand, but even Himachal Pradesh is on fire. A lot of forested area is on fire. This is last night's photograph. All of this rising convection is initiating another crest in the jet stream. Whatever warm air is rising to a limited extent. It is forced to diverge along the upper edges, forcing it to converge below the trough, adding more warm air in this heat dome area, forcing that heat to keep on reheating and recirculating. The heat waves are going to persist as long as the trough of the jet stream is located over northwest India. Right now, this trough is located over northwest India. The low pressure over Saudi Arabia is pushing it into a vertical crest. The trough is landing over northwest India. It is leading to all that heat waves. The forest fires raging in Uttarakhand and in Himachal, they are making conditions worse by recirculating that heat as well. Now, one more factor is aggravating these heat waves. Now we are all aware about stubble burning. Stubble burning is usually associated with paddy, that is rice. That is taking place in October, November, December. Anyhow, the stubble burning in concern right now is with respect to wheat. It is a recent phenomena. The stubble left behind the harvested wheat field is usually not burned and it is used as fodder. But it is a recent phenomena that stubble burning of the wheat stubble has also begun, which is simply adding to more heat in this particular area. That is adding to more heat to these heat waves. Now, what initiated these forest fires? In mid of April, something happened. Now imagine if we have a wall till over here. Right from this part of the screen till over here we have a wall. My hand is the subtropical jet stream. My jet stream is simply moving northwards. Suppose this is the north. It is slowly moving northwards. As soon as it is going to face an obstruction, suppose this is a pipe of water. If I deflect water against the wall, it will be forced to bend. Similarly, the subtropical jet stream, as it was migrating northwards, it encountered a horizontal meander of the polar jet stream. We are all aware that why the polar jet stream is still meandering to such lower latitudes. It is purely because of the late descent of the polar vortex, which happened only in the mid of January this year. Anyway, since it is still present over here, as soon as the subtropical jet stream wanted to shift, its path was diverted. When its path was diverted, the entire heated area of Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, which was developing below this area, the entire heated part of Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, which was building below the jet stream, was suddenly exposed. As soon as this part was exposed, all the warm air found an outlet. Even that alone would have triggered intense thunderstorms, but something else also happened. As we are all aware, the upper air circulation along the subtropical jet stream, it is a convergent wind system. And when you create a meander in a convergent wind system, it creates a divergent wind system itself. Observe it, convergent, but when you fold it in a meander, that convergent wind system becomes a divergent. It acted like a big exhaust fan. The warm air was present near the Persian Gulf. No shortage of moisture and heat in this area. That heated air carrying moisture on its own was sufficient enough to rise and cause thunderstorms. But this upper air meander, it acted as an exhaust fan and it pulled it even stronger. Extreme vertical upward force over one of the warmest water bodies on earth. No shortage of moisture triggered one of the biggest thunderstorms over Dubai in mid of April. The cloud was reportedly said to look green. Why? Because the bigger the thunderstorm, more the hail content in it. Ole. And during sunset, when those inclined sun's rays, they fall on those thunderstorms, all the yellow mixes with the blue of the ice and gives you a greenish appearance. This thunderstorm with this meander kept on migrating towards the east. Within a few days, it was over Pakistan, and within no time, it landed over northwest India. These thunderstorms were falling on an area of dry timber. Why was the area so dry? Because areas under the subtropical high pressure belt, they are experiencing adiabatic heating. The entire air in this area is extremely warm and dry. All of that warm air induces something called flash droughts. Entire North India is reeling under flash droughts. The entire moisture which should have been removed in a couple of years is being removed in a couple of weeks, which is why all our timber in our forests was extremely dry. All of the timber was extremely dry. A rogue lightning strike by these passing thunderstorms might have triggered that forest fire. Definitely, human action can also be to blame. It is still under investigation because there are many cases filed in the Honorable Supreme Court, and many of them are contending that it was because of some human activity. Nevertheless, this thunderstorm can also be one factor. That rogue lightning, which is now called hot lightning, bigger thunderstorms right now are triggering. That discharge is lasting for a little longer. There is one thing called observing an electrical current. Thoda sa current laga. But there is a completely different thing that the current lasts for a little longer. Right now, bigger thunderstorms, they are triggering lightning strikes which are lasting for a little longer. More energy is transferred because the energy is being transferred for a little longer. If that falls on dry timber, it is going to initiate a forest fire. These forest fires were actually present below the jet stream, and I believe you are clear with this mechanism. So that is how the forest fires, the heat dome, the stubble burning, and the meandering of the jet stream combined with that thunderstorm are all linked with the present situation. All of this appears gloomy, but in this gloomy picture, let me give you some sense of relief. These heat waves are going to be very beneficial for the Indian monsoons. Listen to me very carefully. All this heat is still building up over India. As soon as the subtropical high pressure belt and the subtropical jet stream shifts northwards, this entire area is going to observe very strong convection. That very strong convection will trigger a surface cyclonic circulation. Directly above it, what will be present? An anticyclonic circulation. Anticyclonic circulation in the northern hemisphere rotates clockwise. This clockwise rotation is going to initiate the branch of the subtropical easterly jet stream. Ultimately, this upper air circulation is going to cross the equator and it is going to strengthen the mascarene high. Mascarene high will be intensified for sure because of this mechanism, because of these heat waves, and by that time, La Nina will have intensified. Intensifying La Nina will push the area of low pressure in this area. This low pressure is going to pull air towards itself, strengthening the mascarene high even further. So one thing is sure, this present heat wave is going to lead to a very powerful, a very strengthened and very heavy rainfall during this monsoons, because adding to this we have the positive Indian Ocean dipole as well. And since it appears that the easterly jet stream is going to form very soon over the Arabian Sea, which means no tropical cyclone will be able to be formed in the Arabian Sea. If no tropical cyclone is formed in the Arabian Sea, then all that moisture will be left for monsoonal rainfall. So the bottom line is, even these heat waves are causing chaos in entire northwest India. But the bottom line is, it is going to be extremely beneficial for the Indian monsoons. That is all for this video. Stay tuned for further concepts. Take care, everyone.